It's March and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, science, Mardi Gras costumes, crafting, and One Book, One Community. All that and more coming up next. Welcome to the March edition of the Library Roadshow. I'm Mary Stein, and this is a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who participated in the Community Assessment Survey. More than 1,700 citizens took the time to take the survey. We're going through the results now. What you shared with us helps us take that fresh look at the library to see where we are now, as well as plan for the future. We can already spot some trends emerging, and we're going to look at policies, programs, and procedures to see if we can deliver what you're asking for. Things like more one-on-one help with personal devices and online renewal of your library cards. I'd also like to thank the patrons of the River Center Branch Library who are waiting patiently for their new building to open. We closed the temporary location down at the Crest Building in February and began the big move to the new facility, located at its original site at the corner of North Boulevard and St. Louis Street. It'll take a few weeks for contractors to complete the punch list, for all the furniture to be installed, and for the staff to shelve all the books, connect all the computers, and get all the other technology online, and learn how to operate the building. Look for an announcement soon about their opening date. Some dates that are absolutely firm, however, are the dates for One Book, One Community kickoff and premiere events. I invite you to join us on Saturday, March 7th at the main library at Goodwood for an after-hours party featuring our celebrated book, Americana, by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This family-friendly party starts as soon as the library closes at 6 p.m. and includes games, prizes, refreshments, and musical performance by I Am I, a group of Louisiana-based percussionists, dancers, singers, and performers, all free, of course. Later on in March, we'll host a free performance by Kumbuka African Drum and Dance Collective, hold workshops on blogging and podcasting, discuss the 2020 census and citizenship, screen some Nollywood movies during Nigerian film nights, and even hear from Hot Comb author Ebony Flowers at the Mid-City Microcon. Robin Merrick of Southern University will help us discuss Americana, and Tina Harris of LSU will focus on race relations. Copies of the book are available in print, large print, and audiobook format at all library locations, as well as online. Visit readonebook.org for the complete list of events, information about the author, discussion questions, and supplemental readings. But wait, there's more. Best-selling author and National Book Award winner Sarah M. Broom will join celebrated author Margaret Wilkerson Sexton to be our guests for Authors After Hours on Friday evening, March 21st. There's a strong Louisiana connection in each book, so join us at the main library at Goodwood at 7 to hear from the authors of The Yellow House and The Revisioners. And have you heard me mention that events are free? For more information, check out the March edition of The Source or visit ebrpl.com.
Free access to books, audio, and library resources are just a few of the benefits available to you when you get a library card. Need free access to a computer? You get that. Want free access to premium digital resources like Mango Languages and lynda.com? You get that. Need to book a meeting space? You get that. Heck, you can even check out a telescope or use a digital printer with your library card. If you live in East Baton Rouge Parish, pick up your free library card from your local branch library today. Premium access to everything the library system has to offer is waiting for you.
You know that for every kind of service or resource that the library offers in the real world, we also try to offer something to parallel it in the digital library. This spring, we've seen that the Saturday science workshops and other STEM programs are really bringing in the crowds. So we wanted to showcase something equally engaging from our online platform. And Gale's Science Interactive really delivers. Adam St. Pierre joins us now to explain in the digital download.
Is your child working on a science project? Do you need interactive and virtual science resources for your classroom? then you need to check out the library's favorite science resource in Gale Science Interactive. Gale Science Interactive has over 200 different interactive sessions using three-dimensional models on things like botany, microbiology, chemical reactions, molecules and compounds, geology, astronomy, and human anatomy. Gale Science Interactive even has 3D printable models for your school's 3D printer, or your local library to print for you. And it's all available to you at that low price of free. To check out Gale Science Interactive, head over to the digital library page at ebrpl.com.
Thanks, Adam. This resource truly is an outstanding scientific tool for students of all ages, as well as lifelong learners. Whether you're struggling with a particular concept or eager to delve deeper, you can even do a virtual dissection to prepare for biology class without the smell and the mess. And don't forget that Homework Louisiana offers free online tutoring for all subjects, including science and math. Qualified tutors are standing by every day of the week from 2 till midnight, all free with your library card. Let's shift gears and check in with Kayla Perkins, reporting in from Beyond the Stacks.
It's tax season. The United Way, Entergy, and the East Baton Rouge Parish Library have kicked off the season with Super Tax Day, and our cameras were there.
My name is George Bell. I'm President and CEO of Capital Area United Way. And today we are here for what we call Super Tax Day. Super Tax Day is an event that the United Way does annually in partnership with our sponsor, Entergy. And we get to do this in this wonderful facility of the East Baton Rouge Parish Main Library on Goodwood.
The main library was a hive of activity on Super Tax Day. Lots of people came to get their taxes prepared for free and discovered a lot more going on.
The services that we offer at the Super Tax Day, not only is it tax prep, but it's financial capability and stability for those who may be struggling.
Last year we did over 7,500 tax returns that returned over $9 million back into our community in the form of tax refunds. So it is a very impactful program that we just love to offer and make available to our community.
Super Tax Day is a kickoff event. Free tax preparation services are offered through the partnership for the entire tax season. These free tax and financial education services aim to address a real need here in East Baton Rouge Parish. United Way tracks what's called the ALICE population. Those are folks that are asset limited, income constrained, but employed. And in a nutshell, those are folks that live paycheck to paycheck. Every dollar counts. And what we have found is that when you have 45% of your community that falls into that category, any service you can offer that helps put more money back into their pocket, allows them to keep and retain more of their hard-earned income is something that helps our overall community. And by wrapping these free tax preparation services around free financial education, we hope to create change that will last well beyond April 15th. We offer these services at 20 sites throughout our 10 parish region. And the easy way for folks to access would be to just call 211. That's our information line that provides information on when the services are available, where they're available, and you actually can schedule an appointment to have it done at a location near you. Now that's just good stuff. Be the first to know about events like this by bookmarking our calendar. It's online at www.ebrpl.com. Our newsletter, The Source, is a great source for the event info too.
Thanks, Kayla. The after report showed that volunteers prepared over 250 tax returns on site and set up many more appointments, plus offered training and consultations to about 350 residents. We're very grateful to all the agencies and sponsors that put this on each year. It's a big undertaking. If you missed it, remember that you can call the United Way at 211 to schedule your own appointment. And don't forget, we still have VITA and AARP tax help at 8 of our libraries until April. All in the Source, of course. And online in the digital library, we carry the Weiss Financial Ratings platform. It's chock-a-block full of financial literacy tools, so you can be a smarter consumer and have a better control over your finances for next year. It's never too late to improve your financial literacy. Stay right there. After the break, Dr. Tina M. Harris joins me for a chat right here on the Library Roadshow.
Do you wonder how your family landed here? Do you really know your family roots? Discover more about your family history at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Genealogy Department. East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Become a member and discover more.
You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow, everything you need to know about your local library system. As part of our One Book, One Community series featuring the book Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, we've planned a number of programs that run the gamut from Nollywood films to how to podcast to how to braid hair. But one of the more serious themes of the book explores race relations, which is such an important issue for us all in America today. Dr. Tina M. Harris is the first Manship Maynard Endowed Chair in Race, Media, and Cultural Literacy at the LSU Manship School of Mass Communication. She'll be presenting the program Fostering Racial Healing, One Relationship at a Time at the main library on Friday evening, March 13th. Okay, Dr. Harris, what's the deal? Why is it so difficult for us to discuss things like race here in America?
I think the biggest barrier or problem is that people oftentimes don't want to accept what race, well, they understand what race is, but the underlying issue is racism, and people have resistance to what it actually is. Oftentimes people will define racism as having a strong dislike or hate for someone who is of a different race, but it's a much deeper issue than that. It is centered around societal power. So in order for a person to be racist, they have to have societal power, and you couple that with racial prejudice. So racial prejudice plus societal power equals racism. And that means that people who are in the majority group are the ones who have the power, and if that person or a person who's a member of that group has racial prejudice, then they are a racist. And when people hear that, and as this also occurs when I'm teaching, I tell my students this is what the definition is. There's history to back it up. They're a little bit hesitant. They're just like, so what does that mean? And I, walk them down this this road where they are challenged to, recognize that the majority group in the U.S. is white people, and they're the ones with the societal power. And this system of racism is perpetuated by those who embrace their racial prejudice, and it can even be very subtle or innocent, I guess, for lack of a better word. And that's how systemic racism is perpetuated, by denying opportunities to other people, and this can include women as well. When you have racism and sexism, denying opportunities and maintaining power within those individuals who already have the existing power.
And then we have things like institutionalized poverty, like you said,
exactly.
systemic. And of course, we'd all like to think that we're wonderful people, but we have to be able to speak to each other in honest and real ways. And we're not trained to do that.
No, we're not.
Are we? We're not even trained to have meaningful conversations with our own families.
Exactly.
And at work and then beyond. So how do we improve a conversation? How do we improve this conversation and work on it?
I think the first step would be people expressing a willingness to listen to other people. So when it comes to listening is an active process.
Okay.
It's a little bit different from hearing. We can all hear. It's that's the physical act of receiving a message and just perceiving it through your auditory system. Whereas with listening, you're paying very close attention to what someone else is saying, and you're processing what they're saying without trying to come up with a response before they finish their comment, or you're not preoccupied with what you want to say in response to what they have said. So I think that we need to really be open to listening to each other and having a commitment to learning from each other, and then becoming better people as a result of it. So if I'm talking with someone who is a white female, so let's say that you and I are having a casual conversation, I can share with you my experiences with, racism. And by me sharing those with you, we might have a lot of commonalities, and maybe not, but whatever they are, you're able to like hopefully listen and think, oh wow, okay, so that's her experience. It's very different from mine, and then you may share experiences with me that may be related to class or your educational background or something that's an experience that I can't relate to. And by me hearing that, I might think, oh, okay, well that informs my worldview, and ultimately, hopefully, we're able to make things common between us, but also move forward and recognize that we have differences, and differences are good, and this is what we can do in order to improve race relations.
The nice thing about a book like Americana is we can all work our way through the characters in the book, and it goes back to walk a mile in someone else's shoes and take that time. And in a book, you're not waiting to but wait, it's my turn to talk. Everybody gets their say in the book, and we're actively reading. That gives us that experience. So it can be a transformative thing. So you've been studying this for about 20 years or more.
Longer.
That's right. People thought this was so important that they created an endowed chair at LSU, and that's a big deal. What are your goals as the first professor in this endowed seat?
My goal is to well, first of all, I want to say how excited I am about being here in Baton Rouge, being at LSU. I was at the University of Georgia for 21 years, and I was approached about applying, and I said, sure, why not? I had not thought about leaving at all, and then once I was invited to come to campus for an interview, I just thought, wow, I'm about to leave UGA. It was big. My family's from Georgia. I came here by myself with my dog, and I was just ready, I think, for a big change in my career. There's so many benefits that are coming with this endowment, and the first and the primary one for me, is the opportunity to make a difference in a community. I didn't have resources at the University of Georgia to go out into the community to really understand what people's perceptions are about race, their understandings of it rather, and how are people really communicating about these racial issues? What are the racial issues that are going on in the community? And so right now, as a matter of fact, beginning on Saturday, my research team and I are going to begin focus groups. So we're going to interview African Americans in the community to find out what is going on, and then get some suggestions on how they think racial healing can come about. And we'll also be interviewing students from LSU. So we're going to start out interviewing African Americans, as I've already mentioned, community members, students at LSU, and we're also going to interview students at Southern.
Good.
Because I believe there are tensions between the schools.
Yes, there are.
I don't know anything about Baton Rouge. I'm learning slowly but surely, but it seems like there are a lot of racial issues that are going on, but this is not uncommon to other parts of the country. And yes, I'm an expert, but I want to bring people together so we can have healthy conversations.
Great. And move the community forward.
Yeah, and we'll use the information/data, from these focus groups to have a lecture series or dialogue series where people are coming together to talk about these issues and then come up with sustainable programs that go beyond just that series.
Well, you can always do those at the library, remember.
We already have our reservations.
Excellent,
so yes.
Excellent. We're so appreciative that you're going to be part of our One Book, One Community series, and then I think we'll be seeing a lot more of you. So set your calendars for Friday, March 13th at 6 p.m. at the main library to come hear more. After the break, book reviews from one of our younger library patrons. All that and more coming up next on the Library Roadshow.
Buenos días. Estoy bien, gracias.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to the March edition of the Library Roadshow. It's now time to check in with one of our younger patrons and find out what they're reading.
Hi, I'm Kimate. I'm 7 years old, and this is my favorite book. It is about a alligator head, and then people was asking him where did he get the alligator head from. Wherever Robbie shared, everybody's hands went up, and the kids all shouted, "Pick me, pick me." He's not going to call on anyone who's yelling out, said Mr. Russell. My mom's bring me to the library. When I come to the library, my favorite thing to do is do my homework, do my assignment for my teachers, and then probably sort of read my book to do well on my AR quiz.
Thanks, Kmarte. It's great to see young children learning to read at the library. Keep up the good work.
The Greenwell Springs Regional Library was the only branch location that flooded in 2016. Since then, the branch has been in varying stages of renovation. But don't let the construction confuse you. Greenwell Springs is open for business.
I am Julia. We are here at Greenwell Springs Library, and we're going to be doing Mardi Gras glasses.
Julia is our teen tech at the Greenwell Springs Library. She gets to run programming for millennials, programming like this Mardi Gras wine glass craft.
We've got our blank Mardi Gras glasses. We've got paint and paint brushes. We start out making a design with your paint on top, do several layers. You can add glitter if you like, and then we seal it all up with Mod Podge when it's dry. And then you get to a lovely decorative glass to take home.
Mod Podge?
Mod Podge is a crafter's best friend. It's basically a glaze that you use for paper crafts, for painting crafts. It seals everything in.
Sounds like fun.
If you're interested in learning about what programs we have, you can check our calendar online at www.ebrpl.com. There is the sidebar calendar where you can search by branch. You can call the library here, and you can also check out the source.
Thanks, ladies. In the library's recent community survey, so many of you told us that you'd like to see more how-to programs for everything from life skills to crafts like this to high-tech things like robotics. We're working on schedules now, but don't forget that you can always go to Creative Bug in the digital library to get access to craft workshops on demand. All you need is that library card. Stay right there. You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow.
Do you wonder how your family landed here? Do you really know your family roots? Discover more about your family history at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Genealogy Department. East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Become a member and discover more.
My name is Melissa Easton. I'm head of special collections here at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. We're on the second floor of the main library at Goodwood, just outside of special collections. Just behind me is a wonderful display of Mardi Gras costumes from the crew of Tucumcari. These Mardi Gras costumes are from the crew of Tucumcari. It's the oldest continuously operating crew in Baton Rouge. It was founded in 1947 by L.A. Champagne and Frank Marks and their wives after they had taken a trip out Route 66 to New Mexico. While they were out there, they heard the legend of Chief Wautunoma, who had a beautiful daughter named Tari. Two Indian warriors were vying for her love. One was named Tonopah and one was named Tokum. They fought to the death for her love, and unfortunately, Tokum was killed. Kari was very in love with Tokum. In her grief, she ran onto the battlefield, grabbed Tonopah's knife, and stabbed herself in the heart. Her father, Chief Wautonoma, was devastated by this death, and he also ran out into the field and grabbed the knife and killed himself. And as he was dying, he screamed the lovers' names, Tokum-Kari. And that's how the crew got its name. The couples came back to Baton Rouge and started the crew, and they had their first ball in 1948. The first costume we're going to talk about is the captain's costume from 2007. This costume was worn during the crew's Diamond Jubilee celebration, their 50th anniversary, by a man named Chester Welch. This costume represents Chief Wautonoma, of course, from the legend of Tokum-Kari. It's got wonderful details, the large headdress, it's very reminiscent of Mardi Gras Indians. The second costume we're going to look at was also crafted by Madge Gomez. It was the King's costume from 2009. It was also worn by Chester Welch. You can see that it's a long sleeve tunic topped with a sleeveless gold lame cape. If you look at the details, you can see the theme from that year was Dance, 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 and this was the King of Swing. We see a treble clef on the tunic, we have wonderful embellishments of musical notes on the collar, and we also have fleur-de-lis appliques that really enhance the costume. So the third costume that we're going to look at is this beautiful peach costume on the end. This costume was worn by Queen Emma Dozier in 2012. The theme of that year's ball was a tribute to Broadway. This costume was designed by Masquerade Costumes out of New Orleans, and it's modeled after a dress that Deborah Kerr wore in the film adaptation of The King and I in 1956. Every piece that we have in the collection tells its own special tale. We collect things from many different types of people, many different types of organizations, and many different events. We collect things it ranges from cocktail napkins and restaurant menus to yearbooks or scrapbooks, record albums. Everything tells its own tale in the Baton Rouge Room archives, and we use our displays to share those stories with the public.
You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Did you know that there was so much colorful stuff related to the history of Baton Rouge all under one roof? Come on over and check out the Baton Rouge Room's archives. You never know what you'll find. It's all available at the main library on Goodwood, and it's all free with your East Baton Rouge Parish Library card. And now for today's contest. Visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/EBRPL. How many of you have started reading or listening to Americana? I'd like to see some shelfie shots, please. We'll add them to the One Book, One Community info guide page at readonebook.org. That's facebook.com/EBRPL. And while you're there, enjoy. We're not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow in April? More One Book, One Community programs. So many more. Plus National Library Week.
I'll be showcasing some of those events.
And next month, I'll share another resource from your digital library with you.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow. And remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 14 branches, plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.
And that's how I roll.